Coming up this week on High School Sports Weekly, brought to you by OS1 Sports Injury Clinic.
We will talk about what may be the most dramatic finish to a high school football state championship game ever. Yes, we're spotlighting Thompson.
Absolutely. And our athlete spotlight this week is Rachel Hager, a basketball player at Hoover High School.
Also talk about Walker Cole. He is a cross-country state champion from Oak Mountain. Stay with us. We're just getting started on High School Sports Weekly. OS1 Sports Injury Clinic in Hoover is a proud partner of High School Sports Weekly. OS1 has fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians right here in your community. There's no appointment needed. Just drive up to the door. They've got X-ray and MRI on site. So now, being injured or having an orthopedic issue doesn't mean you need to be exposed to sick people. Avoid the hassle and time of going to an ER when you can get more specialized care in a more timely fashion at OS1. Open 7 days a week to serve you. It's OS1 Sports Injury Clinic, and find them online at bettersooner.com.
You're watching High School Sports Weekly. Go Warriors!
Welcome back, everybody. Along with Susan Carruthers, I'm Chris Stewart. I think all of us are still trying to process what we saw in one of the most dramatic finishes in the history of high school football anywhere, let alone the state of Alabama. Wow. Down 29-18, 28 seconds to go, and somehow Thompson wins the state championship.
That's right. It was an unbelievable finish, even made SportsCenter, so it's not just us. Let's talk about it. It's quite a story to tell. The first quarter started out pretty slow with both teams trading possessions a couple of times until Thompson's quarterback, Connor Harrell, threw two beautiful long passes and Thompson found their first TD. Just when you thought Thompson was about to get things rolling, the TD was followed by an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty and a missed extra point. Auburn found some momentum in the second quarter and got their first touchdown. They made their extra point, making the score 7-6. Just a few plays later, though, Thompson answered with another touchdown on another beautiful pass from Connor Harrell. This time they made the extra point, putting Thompson back on top 13-7. And again, just as quickly, it was Auburn's turn to score again with their own quick touchdown, and they were back on top 14-13. And that's how we went into halftime. Harrell got injured sometime in the first half and spent the rest of the game on the sidelines, making a way for Trey Roberson to take over the offense for the defending state champions. When we returned to the third quarter, Auburn kept the momentum going with yet another touchdown, making the score 21-13. The Tigers took a 28-13 lead, and then the drama began. The Warriors scored a touchdown, making it 28-19, and that's the score that we thought would be recorded in the history books. But for all the reasons we love high school football, this one was far from over. Auburn began to focus on running out the clock, but Thompson blocked an Auburn kick, ran it back for a Thompson touchdown, making it 28-26 with 18 seconds left on the clock. Thompson went for and recovered the onside kick, setting up for a magical finish in those last 18 seconds. After two Auburn penalties, the Warriors ended up on the Tigers' 25-yard line with 4 seconds left on the clock. Thompson kicker Trevor Hardy, who missed that very first extra point of the game, remember that? He had a shot at redemption and got just that when he made the field goal to let the Thompson Warriors hang on as defending state champions. What a night.
Was indeed. Here's the call of the game winner from our buddy Jerry Young on the Warrior Nation Network.
It's on the way. It's high enough. It's long enough. It's good. Oh my goodness. It's good. They win it. They win it. They win it! Thompson is the 7A state champs! Are you kidding me?
OS1 Sports Injury Clinic in Hoover is a proud partner of High School Sports Weekly. OS1 has fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians right here in your community. There's no appointment needed. Just drive up to the door. They've got X-ray and MRI on site. So now, being injured or having an orthopedic issue doesn't mean you need to be exposed to sick people. Avoid the hassle and time of going to an ER when you can get more specialized care in a more timely fashion at OS1. Open 7 days a week to serve you. It's OS1 Sports Injury Clinic. And find them online at bettersooner.com. When you ask a high school athlete what they plan on majoring in, you normally expect to hear things like communications, I don't recommend that, law, or even medicine. But it was Rachel Hager's major that drew us to her. Donette Logan has more on the Hoover High School Basketball Center.
From action on the court to the classroom to the veterinarian office where she works, Rachel Hager is your typical high school student. But when we heard what she was planning on majoring in, it got our attention.
I'm majoring in psychology and Christian counseling.
We weren't the only ones who were a little surprised when we heard Rachel's major, not because of what it is, but whether it was something we'd not heard of. But we quickly found out it's a perfect fit for the Hoover High School senior.
I'd never heard of it, but I also know her, and I know that she lives that out. She does it every single day, and I think that's one thing as Christians. Sometimes we all fall short, but sometimes when we put our faith out, people are quick to judge and say, hey, you may not be what you say you are, and she does that every single day and walks the walk, not only talks the talk.
Psychology wasn't the part that stood out for most of us, but the focus on Christian counseling. Rachel knows the psychology aspect will allow her to help others, but adding the Christian counseling just brings in another chapter.
I'm very strong in my faith, and I want to be the type of person who, when I talk and help to people, I want to bring God and religion into it and help them devote their lives to Christ.
Sharing her faith isn't anything new for Rachel. She's been doing it for quite some time with the Lady Bucks.
She leads them in prayer before practice every day, but also in the locker room she's very encouraging to her classmates because the way she handles herself on and off the court, she's got that competitive credibility with them.
Every day before practice we usually do a shoot around, and before we officially start we all gather around in a big circle, and we either link arms, but because we can't do that because of COVID, we just stand silently, and I'll pray over the whole team, praying over having a good practice, praying over people with injuries, praying over the world, anything that's brought to our attention.
Just like Rachel's passion to share her faith comes natural, at 6'1", so did her ability to stand out on the court. But when you see her play, you see the passion for the game.
People always told me, hey, do you play basketball? You're so tall. I was like, before I started, I was like, no, I don't, but I decided to give it a try, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I fell in love with the passion, the rush, the adrenaline, scoring a basket or getting back on defense. It's always just been a big rush to me.
For most, struggling school, athletics, and church would be enough, but Rachel also finds time to work at a veterinarian office. It takes a little time management, but she manages to get it all done and still put in extra work on the court.
I think that's the hardest part for people to realize that high school kids are doing what college kids are doing 10 years ago. Our kid, she works, but also she comes in here on the weekends and gets what we call the gun under the basket and gets 1 million shots up a week, so that she can be better at her craft to earn a scholarship, athletically as well as academically. But just handling that and handling that emotionally and socially is a huge part of being a high school student in this day and age.
Rachel Hager has committed to Faulkner State in Montgomery, where she will play basketball. When she graduates, she plans to open her own practice. But until then, she wants to leave an impact at Hoover High School.
If you ever see me around, don't be afraid to come up to me, because I'm not like your ordinary person. I love people, I love to socialize, and I just hope I can make an impact on the world that I believe I can do.
Donette Logan, High School Sports Weekly.
So let's head across town now to Oak Mountain High School. I had a chance to meet cross-country champion Walker Cole. We're here today at Oak Mountain High School, and I got a chance to visit with state champion in cross-country Walker Cole and his coach James Moore. Walker has big plans for the future, not only continuing this season of cross-country, but also to run at the collegiate level. Walker, thank you so much for being with us here today. Let's just start off by you just tell us who you are.
Walker Cole, senior at Oak Mountain High School. I'm 17 years old, and I just enjoy running.
Good. How long have you been running?
probably been running for about 6-7 years maybe. Back when I used to live in Trussville, my parents have just always been running. They had me run on some small little track club when I was young with a bunch of other kids, and then moved over here. And then when I got to 6th grade, started running with the team, then started competing in 7th grade.
What is your training routine?
A normal week of training looks like Mondays we'll usually have an easier run coming off the weekends, and then we'll have about 2 or 3 workouts in the week, and then just in between that is usually some medium-ish to long runs with some strides after, and then Fridays are usually easy runs because we have races the next day on Saturdays.
What is your pre-race warm-up routine?
So me and my teammates, we kind of joke about that because we always warm up a little too early each time, so we always try and just wait a bit longer every time. And so we'll do about 2 miles before the race, and just kind of joking around when we're warming up, not too serious, don't get too stressed out over it. We just like having fun, messing around with each other before races.
Do you have any kind of music that you like to listen to before a race?
Nothing in specific, just stuff that I enjoy listening to, I guess, but nothing really in particular.
What is your favorite thing about running?
Favorite thing? Probably just going out, like running trails with my friends and just enjoying it.
Okay, so this has been a really big week for you. After finishing 2nd in the state meet last year, you won the state championship this year. What does it mean to you, or what does it feel like to be a state champion?
It feels pretty special to have worked so hard and so long for it, to have just achieved my goals and dream come true. It's still pretty unreal to me that I actually won. Yeah, freshman year, I mean, I don't know how much, I can't remember how much I was thinking about winning state freshman year, but like sophomore, junior year, really started thinking about it, really putting in the work that year, and then this whole senior year I was like, I can definitely do this, I just got to work for it, and it happened.
Well, what are your plans for the future? You're a senior. Do you have plans to go to college? Do you plan to run in college?
Yes, ma'am. I've already committed to going to Utah State in college, Division I school, and can't wait to be running for them.
Coach Moore, how long have you been coaching cross country?
I've been coaching cross country at Oak Mountain off and on for nearly 20 years.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about your team this year.
This is one of the most depth we've ever had on our team this year. We had, top 10 guys go to sectionals to qualify for state, and we could have taken 15 and been happy with any of those choices. We had a lot of depth this year. It was a really hard decision, but put a good quality team up this year.
All right, well, I know you've got an outstanding runner in Walker. Talk to me a little bit about Walker.
Yeah, Walker's an outstanding trainer and teammate. This year, during the summer, he started pushing the guys to run those longer runs with him and really push that pace. And he helped the guys. They could see that it was possible with hard work and, of course, natural talent, but working hard to get to the goals that he wanted. And he inspired the team to qualify for state again this year, and it was really just great to have him on the team. And we're excited about his next level training in college next year and all that he can do there. Can't wait to see him run an 8K. I know it's going to be amazing. So,
all right, tell me a little bit about your team going forward and what you think, the rest of this year and next.
The rest of this year, track season with COVID is going to be a little bit different, and we're not sure exactly how many races each kid will get. But Walker has got a good shot at putting up a state title in the 2 mile, so we're hoping to keep that going. And his teammate Hunter Wright is going to be right behind him, so pushing those two guys along with him and put a good quality team together. Next year we're going to have a lot of seniors leaving, so it'll be a rebuild year hopefully, but his legacy will be a big asset to that, so we're excited.
Walker's had a really exciting last couple of weeks. Right after our interview, he ran in a national competition in Huntsville in which he broke a record for a 5K. So not only that, but winning the state championship brought the state championship back to Oak Mountain for the first time in 18 years. Congratulations, Walker.
We're still very early in the high school basketball season. I say that, and yet the calendar shows we're almost at the midway point. But COVID has obviously wreaked havoc on some games, not the case for other teams. That all being said, the ones that have played have gotten off to a pretty good start.
That's right. We've got some really highly ranked teams in our area. On the boys' side, Spain Park and Vestavia. Then on the girls' side, Hewitt Trustful and Hoover.
And a lot of others that are right behind them, and we'll be talking a lot more about those basketball teams here on High School Sports Weekly.
All right, Chris, well, that does it for another episode of High School Sports Weekly. Please remember to like and share our videos on Facebook.
Yep, hope you'll do that. And also, we hope you don't have an injury, but if you do, be sure to call our friends at OS1 Sports Injury Clinic. They'll get you better sooner. They're our title sponsor for our show. For Susan, I'm Chris. We'll see you next time here on High School Sports Weekly.